Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, July the 12th. I'm Clay Imoo at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clay Imoo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. Dusty's hearing this intro for the first time. He's probably wondering what's going on. I teased that I would have a guest for today, and here he is, my first cousin, Dusty Imoo. I'm so excited about this. As always, one take, so I'm not gonna cut this, I'm not gonna splice this. If we go for 30, 40, 45, 60 minutes, we'll see. Gonna upload the whole thing to YouTube, put some timestamps on there, but we're gonna talk about his future plans, his past plans. I know a really cool story that you guys wanna hear about, the time he had to back up his son in net for a pro hockey game, and many more things. So Dusty, thanks for joining us, for joining me, and joining the millions, no, there's not millions, hundreds, millions, thousands of subscribers on here. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
So you will admit that we're first cousins and we're actually related then?
Yeah.
Okay. I name drop this guy like every couple weeks on Twitter. That's what I do. But Dusty's late father, Chris, my late father, Larry, brothers, of course, that makes us first cousins. And no matter how much he denies it, it is indeed true. So thanks for having me in your home.
No, this is cool. It'll be fun.
Okay, let's go. Let's just go. So the reason why there's a bit of urgency is you're leaving next week.
Yes.
Where are you going and why?
I'm going to Beijing in the KHL, the Russian Elite League, and they have a team in Beijing. That's the short of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit longer story as to how that came about. But yeah, I'm off to China.
Wow. And that, how long is your contract for over there?
I signed a 2-year contract, a year and my option.
Yeah.
Just because there are a couple of places I would come back to here if the right opportunity arose.
Well, I know one opportunity that I want to rise, but I can't say too much. Okay, so 2 years, Beijing team in the KHL.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are you doing there?
It'll be cool. No, I'm going to be the goalie coach for the Kunlun Red Star, the team there.
Yeah.
And then I also agreed to be the coach or help develop the men's and women's Olympic team for 2022.
Wow.
In the preparation up to that.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so I want to talk about the Olympics in a second. Kunlun Red Star, what did you know about them before they hired you?
Absolutely nothing. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I knew a little bit because one of the players we had in our American League team when I was with the Kings, Michael Latta, he played with the Ontario Reign.
Yeah, yeah.
And was under contract with LA, and he went over there. Okay. So we follow each other on Instagram and stuff. So I knew he had gone there, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was in China. I just thought he was in Russia.
Yeah, KHL.
Right.
Russian Elite League,
Until a few of the pictures he started posting were actually like on the Great Wall and stuff. I'm like, what the heck? And then I kind of researched and saw that he was over in Beijing actually. So
cool. What I want to know, are they any good? Is Kunlun Red Star any good?
They've made some huge, I don't know if you do follow, on Twitter and stuff, they've made a lot of deals in the last little while. Okay. So we have quite a few guys, Tyler Wall.
Okay.
He was in the WHL.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the Wu.
Okay.
Or Fu. Sorry.
No, don't fall. Hey, man.
But he was with Vegas.
Okay.
He scored the first. He got a hat trick in the first game against the Canucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. He signed, and then a bunch of other NHL guys. So they're really making a push to be competitive and do well this year.
Awesome. So 2 years as their goaltending coach, and then working with goaltenders for the Olympics, which will be in Beijing.
Yeah.
In 20. Oh, wow. So tell us, was that negotiated at the same time, basically?
Yeah. The owner said he would agree to my terms if I would coach.
Wow.
The Chinese men and women.
Awesome.
And we kind of would. I could do that here in Vancouver in the off season. Yeah. So they'll take care of all that, bring the kids out here, so I don't have to stay there.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that too.
Oh, thanks.
So speaking of Olympics, yes, I vlogged the 2010 Olympics, but Dusty's actually played in an Olympics. Tell us about that.
Well, it was pretty cool. It was a bit of a blur, but I actually just did a podcast with Kevin Woodley, and we talked about that at length, and I told him the same thing. The build up to it was very long, and the preparation, we played together with the national team for 6.5 months.
Yeah, just for these viewers, which team and which Olympics?
Oh yeah, I played for Japan, and it was in Nagano in '98. We were the host team, so prior to that we were actually a B pool team, and then they brought in a bunch of Japanese Canadians, and
Such as you?
yeah, and so we could be a competitive A pool team, and then so we toured for 6 months, played together, and then but once the Olympics came, it was a bit of a blur. It was pretty intense and a lot of fun, but it was almost like we didn't enjoy it at the moment because it was just going so fast. And that was the first year of all the NHL guys.
Wow.
So it was like everybody was in the village eating together, and it was like star pandemonium. It was like everywhere there was like Gretzky and you name it, Patrick Waugh, everybody was there.
Wow. So 1998, the Olympics are in Japan. You're representing Japan as a half Japanese, a half Caucasian, Japanese Canadian.
Yeah.
And just if anyone doesn't know, Imo is indeed a Japanese name because our fathers were Japanese. Of course, Dusty, his other half is Caucasian because his mom was Caucasian. My other half is Chinese. So we basically have a United Nations thing going on right here. Yeah. So 1998, to be the host country and to be almost an import yet, you're one of a few Japanese Canadians on the team. How many games did you play in that? Did you play all three or?
No, there's 4 games.
Oh, 4
actually.
games, yeah.
They played the Japanese descent goalie the first game,
right?
Which was news in pregame skate before the game. So,
is that political thing?
And we talked about this on the podcast.
Okay.
I was young and I was a different person, and I didn't handle it very well.
You're 28.
Yeah. Plus, I was a bit of a hothead back then. So, I left the building after. And didn't.
Well, so you weren't there for the game?
No, I was there. For the game. I left pre-game.
You were on the bench.
Skate
okay.
In the middle of the discussion with the coach, and I gave him a few bleeped words on my way out, and but then prepared and got ready for I played the rest of the game.
Okay, so we won't. We'll send. No, this is awesome. We'll send you to Kevin Woodley's In Goal podcast. In the links below where Dusty talks about this as well. But that's fascinating. I didn't know that you were that upset. Like I could see why, obviously.
We all deal with things differently, and I talked about in the podcast some things you don't deal with very well, and I've learned a lot from that in becoming a better coach. Right.
Awesome. So you didn't play the first after leaving you did come back to sit on the bench though. Just making sure.
Yeah, I didn't leave.
Okay, and then you played the next 3.
Yeah.
And then who are those 3 against?
France, Belarus, and then the final placing game against Austria.
And wasn't the Belarus game the one where you had a crazy amount of saves and?
Yeah, it was 44-12 we got a shot.
44-12.
Yeah, and we tied 2-2. And I told Kevin, it was like we won not for me.
Yeah.
We tied the game. Yeah. But the fans and the Japanese players were throwing their gloves in the air like we won the Stanley Cup. And I was like, dude, we're not even making it to the next round.
You just displayed me on my roller hockey team. Like, that's pretty amazing.
But they were pumped, and then it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because we were very competitive throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
And people thought we were going to get spanked. And then the final game, to kind of cap it off with the fans and the country, we beat Austria and went into shootout and then sudden death shootout, and we won.
Wow.
So that one was crazy. The fans went nuts.
And this was after, that's a really cool story. This was after a few years of you playing pro in Japan, is that correct?
Yeah, I'd already been, I went there for that reason to get my citizenship. So I think I went in '94.
Right, so a 4-year build up to
and
this.
And then it took me that long. I literally just got my citizenship a month or 2 before.
Wow, awesome. Well, so we're gonna send you. We want to get to other things here, but we're gonna send you to Kevin Woodley's podcast where Dusty talks more about his Olympic experience, which is pretty cool. So let's give us a short version of how you got to there from your. I know a lot of people are interested in your junior playing career. Right. I like to brag to, Dusty started ahead of Jamie McLennan, or Dusty started ahead of Olaf Kozig, or. But maybe you could tell us a few of the teams starting maybe from junior all the way to your pro career.
Okay. Yeah, I was 15 and I started in the BC Hockey League. Mm-hmm. I played in Summerland and then Kelowna.
Yeah.
And then I was originally planning to go to Michigan State. I thought I'd go to school, and then I ended up going to the New Westminster Bruins in the WHL. Got traded to Lethbridge and played 2 years there.
In New West, you were playing with Olaf Klosik there, right?
Yeah, Oli was actually down in the BC Hockey League with the
okay.
Abbotsford team.
Okay.
And I was up for most of the year.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they brought Oli up closer to playoffs.
Right.
And then Oli kind of took the reins and I got traded.
Okay.
So, and then I went to Lethbridge and then Jamie, like you mentioned, Jamie McLennan got traded to us, and he kind of played a little bit more of a support role for me, and then we kind of went back and forth, and then I went off to Hartford's camp, and came back for my last year and asked for a trade to hopefully try to win a Memorial Cup. Yeah, I got traded to the last place team in the league.
Wait, so which team were you with?
I was with Lethbridge.
And is Lethbridge Hartford's? No.
No.
Oh, no, nothing to do with that. Okay.
Nothing. So I just came back from Hartford's.
From Hartford's camp, excuse me,
And then asked for a trade, thinking that Lethbridge wasn't going to be strong. I wanted one more chance.
And who was a strong team back then that you would have loved to trade to?
I thought I was going to get traded to either Spokane or Swift Current. They were two top teams.
Sure.
And the management in Lethbridge apologized and said they couldn't get what they wanted from those teams, so they traded me to Regina. And
no offense to Regina, but the team wasn't that good though.
No, we were awful at the beginning. But I met some really good people and learned how to be a bit more of a leader that year.
Awesome.
And
that's like the equivalent of being traded to the Senators now. Just kidding. You don't have to.
I'm not going to step into that.
Okay, I will. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But I had met, became friends with Mike Sillinger and Jamie Hewitt and a bunch of guys, and built some really good friendships there. And we actually learned how to win. And
awesome.
So at the end of the day, it ended up shaping me and helping me along. So but it was a bit of a blow at first.
And then Regina, Pats, and then what happens after that?
I bounced around for a bit. I went to my first year pro, ended up being in Fort Wayne in the IHL. Got married. Adopted a daughter. Had Van, had Jonah. Like it was like literally, it all happened really fast. And I bounced around in the minors and realized really quickly that with fat kids and stuff, I was going to have to make a decision. And then I got a call from Dave King.
Right.
So I was on the fence of, do I even do this? Because not for me, but more for my family. And then I got the call from Dave King asking if I'd be interested in going over to Japan. So packed up the family and I think I was 23 and I had Brittany, Van, and Jonah. So
well, you're 48 or 49 right now.
I'll be 49 on the 18th.
So let's just pause here, all you viewers. This guy's turning 49 years old. He's already a grandparent. I would argue, and I hope this works for me, although Sean and Jacob don't get any ideas, I want to be a cool, young-looking grandparent like you and I. But that's only 4 years from now, so yes. Sean, Jake, if you're watching this, no rush. Okay, go back to these guys know who Sean and Jacob are. So that's pretty cool. So then, how would you describe, I remember when I would watch you play like once in a while, I guess when you were playing with Kelowna, was that the same as Richmond Sockeyes at the time? So I remember I would go to the Richmond Arena to watch you play when you come down, and New West games. And I remember you were all the quickest goalie I'd ever seen, right? Just because not the biggest stature, but you had the best reflexes and get across the crease. At that time, would you say that was the strength of your own style, or what made you?
It was how quick I was. I think it was a bit of back then. That was probably one of the biggest things. If you were that quick and agile and stuff, those are some of the things that people seem to like back then.
Is there any goalie in the NHL right now that's even close to your physical attribute, or that you can even say, "Wow, I even see a tiny bit of myself in that guy"?
Yeah, you know what? there are guys out there. Jokes aside, Soupy, Jack Campbell, does a lot of things that I used to do.
Really?
Oh yeah. But obviously he's way better than, technically, it's just the game has evolved.
Yes.
But but for sure, like the way he catches pucks,
Yeah.
the technique he uses in catching pucks, it's definitely, there's some similarities.
Why do you call him Soupy? Oh, Campbell Soup. So they got noodles for Jamie McLennan.
That's the hockey thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you don't add a Wyatt in the last, what was your nickname? Did you have one? Are you allowed to say it on here? Or?
No, like my name is a nickname, and it's
Right.
It's so lots of people just call me Moo.
Yeah.
But there's one nickname stuck with me through a lot of the years,
Yeah.
through junior, and then into pro, was Duddy.
Duddy.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't tell this on the podcast.
Yeah, let's
I'll
hear
try
it.
to keep it short.
No, it's fine.
But
This is good.
I was in Lethbridge,
Yeah.
and we would come out to the game, and the fans would be, you know, in the walkway or whatever, and they'd be leaning over, and there'd be one kid, and he was, I don't know if he was deaf or handicapped, but he talked.
He had a speech impediment of some
Speech
sort.
impediment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he was a huge fan of mine.
Awesome.
And he would just whack everybody on the head as they would come by, except me. And
Oh.
he would just yell my name, but it would be like, Nani. He
Yeah.
couldn't say
That's- yeah.
So it's like, it didn't sound right.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys I played with, Wes Walls and Mark Gregg,
Yeah.
you know, we were kids, mind you, and,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to rip on them because
No.
it's all in good fun, but they used to just think that was the funniest thing
Yeah.
in the world, that he would smoke everybody else
Yeah.
and then just cheer me on. And so they started using, when they would talk to me,
Yeah.
the guys,
Yeah.
they would say the name the
Yeah.
similar way.
Affectionately, though. Yes.
That, it's a similar way
Yeah.
that the kid did.
Yeah.
And it kind of morphed into my nickname being Duddy.
Dusty Imoo. Wow. And then wasn't that was your Twitter handle for a bit before you switched to?
Yeah.
See, I remember
Yeah,
that.
I did
See?
that for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. I used to drop that nickname too. So, and that's really cool. Actually, that's a really really good story. And then this whole I've told this story a couple times on Twitter, joking around. I remember. I don't know if it's tough being a goalie and getting pucks shot at you every single day. I remember we were playing street hockey outside my house one day. And I said, let's play hockey. And you said, okay, cool. And I was so excited, right, playing with my famous cousin. But he made me go in net, which is fine. Put it on my cheap, so you know what I'm going to say, my cheap pads. So, and he said, I'm going to take some shots on you. I said, that's fine. I can pretend I'm Dusty, right? But he lined up 5 feet in front of me. I was taking slappers. I said, don't go to the other end of the... But no, I think you were taking all your frustration out on me, but it still made me feel good. I think I saved 1 out of 10, but that's okay. And Dusty, you came to our my kid's school one day to... I know Sean's friends always consider that a real highlight of of their schooling was when they had an Olympic goaltender come in and kind of talk about Japan.
I remember that.
Yeah, I think that's part of Sean's project on Japan or whatever it may be. So it's really really cool. So junior career, a lot of people when I said on here on Twitter that I'd be talking about you, or talking to you, I should say. Someone came in and talked about your experience in Kelowna, and so people remember you from Kelowna, from New West,
Yeah,
from
that's funny.
It's pretty cool. So Jamie McLennan, do you still talk to him a lot now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obviously we don't get a whole lot of time to see each other.
Yeah.
We're always back in different spots, but
Right.
with the way communication is now,
Yeah.
it's quite easy to stay in touch.
Awesome.
And we follow each other on all the social media as well, so it's easy to stay
Yeah.
in the know of what's going on with each other. But yeah, we totally do. So often with friendships and stuff, you don't stay in touch, and the hockey community is good that way.
Yeah.
You might not talk every day or whatever, but when you do, it's like it was just like yesterday.
Yeah, you feel like you're still connected.
Oh, for
that way.
sure.
That's awesome. So let's move from I want to hear about your Winnipeg Jets and your LA Kings experiences, goaltending coaching, being a development coach for them. And Winnipeg, I'm not just saying this, they've always been my second favorite team, especially since they've come back. I like the way they are, and I'm presuming, I'll let you talk about this, but I presume you work with guys like Hellebuck and Hutchinson. But so how'd you get to Winnipeg then?
I did the 2 years in Seattle when I was first deciding on whether or not I could do this.
Yeah.
And so in the second year, after the second year with Seattle, I ended up doing a Hockey Canada camp. They asked an invite to coach at that.
Yeah.
And I met a buddy of mine Wade Flaherty was watching the camp for the goalies.
Okay.
And so we were talking after one of the sessions, and I can't remember, the coaching staff in the Hockey Canada camp had mentioned that position, the development role for the Winnipeg Jets, was open.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I had just sent resumes out,
Yeah.
so I talked to Flats there, and I said, so is it available? And he's like, they're right down to the last two guys. So it was a little late in the process.
Yeah.
And he goes, but if you can get your resume, I'll talk to Zinger, the management, and see if I could get at least an interview. And I did, and I got the job.
Awesome. And just, is it an oversimplification to say that generally a pro hockey team like Winnipeg or LA, Vancouver, they have a coach, a goaltending coach that works with the guys in the AHL, and then they have a goaltending development coach that works with the AHL guys. Is that a fair way of saying it generally? Or do most teams have like a 2-coach system for the goaltenders?
Yeah, now it's pretty much like that,
Yeah.
but it's kind of all over the map as to how it's structured.
Okay.
The way I did things in Winnipeg
Yeah.
and then took it over into LA, not a lot of people do it quite like I did it.
Yeah.
A lot more structure involved. Like a lot of guys just stay in that city. They live in the American League city,
Right.
and they don't venture off a lot.
Yeah.
And I was kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
Based on the need of each goalie. If I felt they were doing well, I would go somewhere else.
Oh, interesting.
And help someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
I still believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that to the end. That I think goalies need some space at times when things are going well, and I think I'm pretty good at balancing that. I think remembering as a player,
Yes.
having someone in your face all the time isn't always great.
Actually, this isn't on our script, but something just triggered in my head when we hear about goalies being like kind of superstitious or kind of in their own players, or they have their own kind of routines. Were you like that at all when you were playing? And did you want to be part of the team? People talk, or would you rather no, just leave me alone, and do guys know to leave you alone, kind of thing? Or
I was a real team guy. Like as far as I always was hanging out and sometimes a little bit too much life of the party back in the day, but I was pretty intense when I played the game. But the guys knew that none of my anger, or because I was a bit of a nut bar back then, was ever guided towards the players.
Sure.
I just was a bit of a hothead and I thought emotion and that kind of drive was pushing me forward. Wasn't always the truth now looking back, but I was a pretty good team guy. I had things I did.
Give me one.
Well, I always had to do this setup before when the puck was face off in either of our dots, and I did this thing with my hands and stick, and I did it before everyone, and it became a thing, and kids and young kids that were fans used to imitate it.
Really?
And but that was something, if I didn't have time to do it, I used to get pissed. If the referee wanted to just drop the puck, I'd be like,
that's amazing.
Gotta wait till I do that.
What was it? Was it?
I don't want to do it.
It was bad, or?
No,
okay.
It's just embarrassing. I don't want to do it now.
No. Okay.
No, but I can't even remember. I'd have to do it in a moment.
Right. I'll look up some game film or
Yeah.
something. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so tell me about Winnipeg experience then. Just some. I think a lot of the viewers are like, no, just some of the guys you worked with back then.
The first year I had Hutchinson.
Yeah.
We also, had a European, UC Okanora. And there's a few guys that and then I was working with Eric Comrie in junior, and then some, Hellebuck was in UMass Lowell.
Okay.
And we had, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget any of the
No,
guys,
that's fine.
because they're all really good guys.
I'm sure, but they're not watching this. So.
But yeah, the Hutch was the biggest success story of that year. He went from the coast to the NHL in that same year, and we went to the Calder Cup final. And then, and then the next year, we traded for Peter Budaj, and he came straight to the American League.
Right.
And then Hellebuck was the other goalie that year.
Wow.
And some two totally contrasting stories. One had the worst year of his career, and the other one had a great year. And
Budaj having the bad one. And,
and it was a great. We've had embarked on a great journey together, Peter Budaj and I.
Yeah.
And it led over into LA and turned that around. But Helly was there that year, had an unbelievable year, and then next year he had another great year, and then
and that was 4 or 5 years ago now, right? The Winnipeg.
5 and 6 years.
So
ago.
Dusty, back then, did you know that Hellebuck would be as good as he is now? Could you see it even back then?
Yeah.
What makes him so good?
Well, technically, the simple thing is he's really good at squaring to the puck.
Okay. Yeah.
And this might sound stupid. He's good at getting in front of the puck, which is
vital.
Essentially the goal, right? But
that's why you're on this.
But jokes aside, some guys, aren't as good at getting from A to B and making sure they're in the middle. Yeah. And he's really good at that. But probably one of his things that people don't know all the time about goalies is how they are as people.
Yeah.
He's very focused individual and very confident.
Yeah.
And he teeters on overconfidence,
For sure.
which is cool, but he believes in himself.
And you have to at that level.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of guys when we're growing up, we don't know all the time.
Right.
Some overconfident, and that would be where I was when I was younger. And that was not good as well. Yeah. He balances it really well as to where he wants to be, and he knows who he is, and I think that is probably his biggest asset, in my opinion.
Awesome. And just in case you weren't, if you saw that was Dusty's beautiful wife Rhonda who snuck down the stairs.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. This is important. It's a family affair. So 2 years in Winnipeg, then 2 years with the LA Kings organization. Is that correct?
4.
4 years. I'm so sorry. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. So 4 years. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And Ontario Reign is their AHL affiliate, correct? Yeah. So you worked with guys like Quick, Campbell, Budaj, Peterson. Is it Peterson?
Peterson.
Funny story. The first time that the Kings came up to play Vancouver, I think it was this past season, and I knew that Dusty was with the team and Peterson was starting.
Yes.
Right? And then, of course, we have our Pedersen. So I tweeted Dusty, I sent him a DM saying, hey, just so you know, our Pedersen's pretty good. Something stupid like that. And Dusty says, yeah, our Peterson's very good. And then we just kind of had a joke about the thing. And I think, did you guys win that game?
Yep.
You guys won a lot of games against us, I think, this season.
It wasn't the best year for us, so I don't have really any shots to take.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So tell us about some of the guys that are in the LA system right now. Like, is Peterson gonna? How much did he play last season? Now I didn't look this up before we.
He got called up.
Yeah.
When. Well, first Quickie got hurt.
Yeah.
And then Soupy got hurt.
Right.
Right. And so Budaj and Peterson were up.
Yeah. And
Cal played, I think. I want to say he played like 9, 10 in a row.
Wow. And he did well when he did. I remember that.
Yeah. Like really well. He got shutout. He had some huge nights. I think he ended up like a 924 or 922 or something like that.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Kings were having a rough year, and he still managed to pull out some really good hockey when he was up. Showed that he belongs. Showed that he can play in that league.
What makes him so good? As that's a goalie that we can track and see. Who's gonna do good things probably in the big league.
Similar to Helly in that sense, he knows who he is and he's very confident.
Right.
I wouldn't say he's cocky at all, but he's a very mature individual. His demeanor is internally very competitive, but he controls it very well. The outside noise doesn't bother him.
Wow.
technically down low, he's really good. Like
Yeah.
he's lightning quick, and
Yeah.
stuff that you think he can't get to, he can still get to.
Okay, that's cool.
But for me, the big thing that kind of, there's so many talented goalies.
Yeah.
When you get to that, the American League, and
Yeah.
you're right there. But what sets him apart from a lot of guys, and I think he's got the demeanor to be a number one guy.
Wow.
It's that composure he has. It's pretty remarkable.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, you see between us, just in the hallway there, I see Emo 70. I see Emo 35 in LA Kings Ontario Reign colors. This is a story that people never get sick of hearing. And some people, they know it quite well. Others are just hearing it for the first time. In fact, someone on my Twitter said, ask him about that time he had to play with the son, or back up his son. So take your time. Let's hear the story in its full glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. We had that year. We had injuries. It was like one of those years where every goalie was going down like that. So Quickie's down. So Budai's goes up, and then Zakhoff is up.
Right.
So it's Budai and Zakhoff, and then I ended up going to to LA for the pregame skate against Vancouver, because Billy had to go do that alumni skate.
Billy being Bill Ranford.
Yeah, in Edmonton.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the pregame skate with the NHL club. And Soupy, Jack Campbell, and Jonah are in Ontario, in the Ontario Reign,
Yeah.
about 45 minutes away, getting ready to play their game that night.
Right. So so we're talking about 6 goalies we've already talked about. It was Quick, and who's up top?
Okay, so it was Quick,
Zakhoff,
Budai, Campbell, Jonah, and Flynn were in Manchester.
Okay.
I think I'm
Yeah.
confused how this all went down.
Yeah.
But then Quick gets hurt, Quick gets hurt,
Yeah.
Zakhoff gets hurt.
So the two NHL
top
guys. So,
right. So Budai goes up, and then when I'm there, Zakhoff goes down, and that means Jack Campbell's got to come up.
right.
So I got off the ice, and the management said what they've come up with is, because of the timing, you're going to have to drive back to Ontario and back up Jonah.
And the drive between LA and Ontario.
It's a 45-minute drive in
No
the
traffic.
middle of the night when nobody's out there. But if anyone has ever driven in LA, 45 could be 3 hours.
Right.
Anyways, so I did it. I drove back. It was pretty crazy. It took like about 15 minutes, and people started to find out.
Yeah.
And it kind of took off, and like I said to Kevin, I'd never been involved in anything with viral stuff, and that was as close for me.
Because the NHL Network, ESPN, everyone's picking the story up.
It went up very fast, because
Yeah.
it was never happened before. Right?
Yes.
But yeah, I just really I was trying to hold it all together to try to balance, what is best for Jonah, what as a coach, as a dad, is trying to make sure that me thinking like this internally wouldn't show externally. And just try to be cool, right?
Wow.
And it wasn't as big a deal looking back to Jonah. It was important.
Yeah.
But he liked the fact that I was there. He thought it was cool. He wasn't freaking out nearly as much as I was.
Right.
Inside. But it was a really great moment when I got there. Our stalls were together. And,
Oh, awesome.
And I definitely believe it was the highlight of my playing or coaching in my career.
See, that's pretty cool to hear you say that, and it speaks to obviously your love for your family. Is you started for the Olympics in your representing as a home country, and you've coached all these great players, and you had a good career yourself. But to say that was the best moment of your career, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? There's all kinds of things that are really fun, like winning championships. I did that a lot in Japan.
Yeah.
It's pretty special stuff.
Yes.
There's nothing there's nothing like it. But when you do something with your actual family,
Yeah.
something that you know will never really happen ever again.
Yeah.
It becomes very clear, very quick, how special it is.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's beautifully put. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
And I joke around all the time, especially not just on YouTube but on my Twitter about how my boys and their bowling actually.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I'm not a bowler, but to go with Jacob and have him win 2 national championships, like to say you're the best at anything, right? And to share that moment with him, it speaks to family first that we always talk about it as well. So for context, then, was Jonah, how much did he play with the club that year?
He was with the organization all year,
Yeah.
but he was all, he started and he did Ontario.
Yeah.
Well, he's quickly in Mass, and the injuries happened really fast right at the beginning. So he went back to Ontario.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt.
Oh,
That was actually part 5 of it all. It was bad. It was a crazy year for goalies. It was nuts. That year I signed 3 PTOs, meaning I had to back up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that wasn't the only time I did it
Right.
that year. That was the only time I did it with Jonah.
Yeah, of course. Right.
But I backed up Flinner, and it was crazy. It was one of those strange years.
Yeah.
But so then Jonah ended up going back to Manch in the East Coast League.
Right.
Who's our East Coast League affiliate.
So LA, Ontario,
Yeah, so
Manchester,
He was just filling in wherever we needed a goal.
So when you backed him up, was he right in the middle of a run with Ontario there, or he just been brought
He
back
had
up?
just been brought up because of Quickie.
Right.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
But he was only going to be backing up Jack.
Yeah.
And then it turned into him playing. So
Amazing. So you're dressing together, you have stalls together, you take warm up together. Any funny moments, or did any of the players rib you a little bit, or?
No, the guys were awesome.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was big, and
Yeah.
they didn't want it to be a bad big.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be a good experience
Yeah.
as well. So like, we had guys like Biz, were on the team. So guys like, well, if you know him at all or follow him.
Bissonnette?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
To keep it, light and motivating and fun. So, we had a really, really good group of people there around that time. So
Awesome.
that was a non-issue.
Did you truly, and it's easy to say this a couple of years later, did you feel like if you got, for whatever reason, God forbid that Jonah got hurt that game, or got pulled because they're winning or losing by 6 goals, did you feel like you were ready to play that day if you had to?
No. You know what? Like that was earlier on, but as the years went on, I practiced more and more with the team.
Yeah.
And we started utilizing it, to give breaks.
Sure.
For the goalies.
You'll see it at an athletic trainer or someone put on the pads once in a while, right? To give.
But I would do it.
Yeah.
And I actually started to feel a little better. Not great by any means, but I'd stop a few here and there.
Okay.
But when that happened,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm a pretty proud guy. I like to think I do all right.
Yeah. Were there any close calls?
Maybe for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because whenever I do practice, you can ask Stutz, Mike Stuthers, the coach in Ontario, like, take me 5 minutes and I'd be gassed. Just gassed. Like literally defibrillator gassed.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you had that experience. Maybe I'm glad that you didn't get in the game then. You make news for another reason, but that's good. Well, thanks for sharing that, Dusty. I know a lot of people were interested in that story. They were following it. And then once in a while I will get, are you related to Dusty? It's a very uncommon last name.
Right.
I remember that. That was a lot of fun that day.
I see that in Twitter a lot. Guys still asking if you're related.
Yeah, maybe I don't name drop you enough.
No, they don't put the connection.
Right.
I don't know how you don't. That last name is like so uncommon.
Yeah, you heard it straight from her. If you see Emo, it's either him or it's me or it's my brother or it's like we're all related.
If there's someone that's not related to us, that's just not.
It's not right. Yeah, we're the only ones. Yeah, we're the one. I won't say the only ones that count, but we know that we're the only emos here in North America, which is kind of cool. Like a couple more things. State of NHL goaltending now. What we saw this. I kind of meant to ask this earlier. They're big, right? They're 6'3", they're 6'4", and the Ben Bishops of the world. Vasilevsky, he's big. You know, even Jacob Markstrom with the Canucks. Is it going to be like that to stay? Do you think, or is it going to ever revert to not more average sized guys? But is it just because they're that good of athletes now? And of course, intuitively, the bigger they are, the more net they cover by default.
You know what? I think staffs and organizations are starting to open up to the idea of recognizing the talent in the guy. If he stops the puck, he stops the puck.
Yeah.
Will it revert back to anybody again? Like
Yeah.
guys like my size? No.
Yeah.
But I do believe, you know, guys that are 6 feet,
Yeah.
6'1", are going to start to get more looks
Mm-hmm.
than they had in the past when the size thing was the rage.
Right.
It was almost like management was reverting to like just fill that friggin' net. The bigger, the better. I
Yeah.
don't care how he moves or.
Yeah.
But then shooters started getting better, so
Right.
it's kind of like a flip flop of balance.
That's a good point.
And now the goalies are getting really good, whatever size.
Right. Right.
But you know what? So now the big guy just doesn't automatically get in without being good.
Sure.
Too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you'll see some 6 feet guys get in there.
Yep.
It's still not as easy because there are a lot of big guys that can move now,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you enjoy watching the game right now? Whether or not you know them personally, maybe you do, but just who do you enjoy watching?
Jack Campbell.
Yeah. I knew. I figured a Kings guy was going to come up.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, the guys like Soupy and Cal and everybody will make fun of me.
Yeah.
Boods, especially because I always name drop Tuukka Rask.
Yeah.
I've never worked with Tuukka Rask.
Okay.
But I utilize things that he does, things that familiarity with me and how I
Interesting.
played that I liked.
Yeah.
And I can use in my teaching.
Yeah.
So, you know, I am open to all kinds of goalies
Yeah.
that stop the puck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as guys that I like and I gravitate towards and would keep the TV on to watch, I like Tuukka Rask.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you said you see some similarity, but you just like the way he plays and competes.
Yeah,
and,
there's all kinds of things that he does that I really like, but I appreciate all kinds. Like, you know, Vasilevsky's fun to watch. But there's so many guys, you know, in different ways of playing. It's a pretty cool position.
That's cool. And I'll end off by asking you if that's okay about a couple of the Vancouver Canucks goalies, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't work in the NHL anymore.
I know you don't, and even though I want you to, and who knows, maybe you're going to be coaching some of these guys down the road. But tell me, a lot of people, and I think this will resonate with the Canucks fans watching this, is they're really excited about how Jacob Markstrom. It's funny, his stats were almost the same as 2 years ago last season, but it just seemed maybe it was the mental makeup or whatever, or more confidence. What do you like about Jacob Markstrom's game?
He's got really, well, from what I see,
Yeah.
you know, and this is from the outside.
Right.
He's got a really good base. Technically, obviously, he's really good. I love, he doesn't seem to get too rattled about things based on how his reactions and things.
Yeah.
I think he covers the net down low very well. I don't know him as. I gravitate a lot towards their mental makeup and whatnot, because so many of these guys are technically, they're all good. Right? But it'd be interesting to see what he's like as a person, to really give an evaluation on where I think he is as a number one guy.
And one thing I've talked about on this channel is many people know he's entering the last year of his contract. So it'd be fascinating to see where the Canucks are at January, February when it comes time to trade deadline, and whether they can extend him, move him for something, if they're that confident in Demko. Like there's always something to talk about, right, with every single team. So I'm not sure, have you had any experience either watching or observing Patrick Demko at all? Do you know anything about him?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I had to, I've watched him, you know, in the American League as well, but prior to that I had to go, I think I was still with Winnipeg when I had to go scout and, you know, evaluate him prior to his draft year. So I watched him, I think they played in Providence, against Providence when he was in Boston College.
Yeah. Cool.
And so I watched him play a couple games there, and then some game tape. And then have since watched him in the American League. So.
Any insight on his game? Like, what would make him a good, potentially number one?
From what I see, he definitely has confidence in himself.
Yes. Yeah.
So now where he teeters on that, on the fence, I don't know because I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
But it could be a good tool moving forward. He's definitely he loves playing the position because he likes to have a bit of flash and he seems to be very enthusiastic. So those combinations of things could be you know harnessed the right way can be really good.
Right.
Where they go from there, I have no idea. Like I said, since I'm not there and I'm not the coach, I can't.
Totally.
I never make an evaluation of a guy without knowing them, you know, like a full out saying he's crap, unless he really truly is crap.
Right.
But there's so many of those intangibles that you don't know about. Right?
And don't worry, I won't ask you to rate goalie coaches from around the league because you know.
I would never.
I wouldn't make you do that. Okay, last thing. Obviously, as a Canucks vlogger and season ticket holder, and I joke around, but in all seriousness, I love how, despite the busyness, we're able to trade messages throughout the year and joke around. And you bug me in a good way and affirm me in my fandomness, so to speak.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I got that you were with the Jets for 2 years, the Kings for 4 years, which I just learned. So yes, you're moving to KHL for a couple of years at least. Looking at what the Canucks have done, you know, they brought in Tyler Myers, JT Miller, Jordy Ben, now Michael Ferland just yesterday. I make the argument they seem to be forging an identity now. They're drafting skill players like the Pedersens and the Bessers and the Hughes of the world, right? Yet they're augmenting them through free agency or trades with a more gritty type of Ferland, Myers, you know, Ben type player. Even Bigo Roussel last year, argue about their contracts all you want. So it seems like the Canucks are trying to forge an identity, trying to make the playoffs, obviously, as part of their 50th season. As much as you can say, what do you think of the team right now? Do you think that I am misguided in my optimism for this season? And be honest.
I love watching your tweets and stuff because it's like literally the whole team could lose their skates before the game and you would find something positive to say.
Yes.
You spin everything into a positive. That's that whole
GLCPC.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I do. Yeah.
But are they going to win a Stanley Cup? Probably not. But I do think they've made some really good moves. I do. I think they've made a couple of really good moves. It'll be interesting to see where the goalies move from here.
Yes.
Because they need to make that step too. And see, the team has made steps with trades and addition, but see, they're keeping the same goalies, so they're going to have to step up their game a notch. And
good point. Yeah, that's the one part. Yeah.
And improve as well because, and I'm not putting any more pressure on those guys, but the truth of the matter is they're the backbone of that team.
Yes. Goaltending, unsurprisingly, you'd say is the most important position on the team.
Could be.
That's awesome. Well, Dusty, thank you. We wish you luck. I'll say this to you privately too, not in front of all. But no, we wish you luck in your travels to Beijing. That's really exciting, both the KHL opportunity and of course the working with the Beijing goaltenders ahead of the Olympics. And in all seriousness, it's really cool to say not just I know or I'm friends with, but to be family with someone who's so involved in the hockey community, the NHL community, and also willing to give back and willing to share expertise. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to allow me into your beautiful home. Stare at those jerseys a couple more times before you go. But we just want to say thanks for taking the time and for everything you've contributed. And we know you're gonna do awesome over in Beijing for sure. Yeah, no,
this was cool because it's been a lot of years where we've never ever done anything like this, and you've been doing all these stuff on social media and never ever asked me. I was like, what the heck's going on?
Hey, I usually, I'm so selfish. I don't bring any guests. So you're like the first guest ever, or in a long time. So it's pretty cool. So Canucks fans, we've gone for about 50 minutes. It felt really fast. I'm going to break down all the times below, but a couple of things. I'm going to link to Kevin Woodley's In Goal podcast, where it is Dusty joining Kevin Woodley and Darren Millard for a great hour chat on goaltending, on hockey overall, on his plans, kind of elaborating on some stories we didn't talk about here. Also, as always, leave a comment below. Anything that Dusty said, anything you want to know more about or want to affirm what he said, leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply as always. So as I always say, subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to. Dusty, thanks once again. Duddy, thanks once again. Appreciate you joining.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we wish you luck. And as always, God bless, and go Canucks go.